Hey guys, it's Crystal and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my birthday book haul. I now have all 25 books for my 25th birthday. So let's get right into it. So these next 2 books I got pretty much in October, late October, early November, and well, I'll just show you. I got Wreck the Halls by, again, another Tessa Bailey book, and Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I have her Icebreaker book, and I haven't read that book yet, but I just wanted to get this one because, well, 1, the cover looks so cute, 2, I've heard so many good things about it, and 3, I'm one of those people that collects books from authors, especially authors that I haven't read yet. So I got this one. I actually pre-ordered this one before it came out, and I pre-ordered it, obviously because I heard so many good things about it, and well, I just wanted to have it. And Wreck the Halls is going to be one of the books that I read next month, come December, during, obviously, holiday season. I'm one of those people that likes to theme their reads depending on the season. So fall is fantasy, Christmas time, so all of December is holiday romances that give me some of those Hallmark movie vibes, and summer romances, and spring is whatever I feel like reading. So this is going to be one of the books that I read next month, and again, a book from one of my auto-buy authors. So these are the books that I got later on after my birthday. This next book that I got is another book that I pre-ordered and I got late in October because that's when it came out. King of Greed by Anne Huan. I have King of Wrath, King of Pride, and now King of Greed. This is going to be one of the books, one of the series that I'm planning on reading come next year. You all know me, I have a whole TBR. To my left, to you guys it'd be your right, just a bookshelf full of books that I need to get through. So this is another book that I'm really excited to read and to get through. From what I'm seeing in the back, I'll read just a little bit of the backside. Powerful, brilliant, and ambitious Dominic Davenport clawed his way up from nothing to become the king of Wall Street. So this sounds like, just from that sentence alone, billionaire romance. Again, another book that I've heard so many good things about on book Instagram and book TikTok. There's no in between for me. I either read one book at a time in the series, or if the whole series is out, I buy the whole series and I read. And since this series isn't all the way out, I am buying each book as they come out, and I will get started on reading them soon. But this is another book that I got for myself for my birthday, King of Greed. To continue on with book series that I haven't read, books 2 and 3 in the Chestnut Valley series, Heartless and Powerless, the cowboy romance book that cowboy romance series that I also hope to start coming up next year. Again, another series that I've heard nothing but good things about. I see it all over my Instagram feed, just people talking about these books and how well written they are, and just how much of a really good author Ellis Silver is. So I am really excited to dive into this cowboy romance series. I know there's more to this series, but that's all I know that this is about, is that it's a cowboy romance. So yeah, these are the other books I got. These next two books, the only thing that I know about these books is that it's a dark romance, and the love interest stalks the girl he is in love with, and it is cat mouse, and that's about all I know. I got The Haunting Adelaide duet, whatever people are calling it. Yes, I've had this duet on my TBR for the longest. I've seen so many people talk about it. I've heard audio clips of the male protagonist on Book Talk and Bookstagram. I've seen just random quotes on Book Talk as well, and I'm hooked. This is probably going to be the first dark romance book that I get into, duology that I get into, dark romance duology. So for those of you who have read it, know what's coming for me. I don't know if I'm ready, but you all will find out if and when I talk about this book. Again, this is another duology. This is another book duology that I plan on reading come next year. Once the holiday season is over, I will be diving into majority of the books that I have on here, especially my new ones. And this one and ACOTAR is at the top of my list right now. So wish me luck when it comes to this one. I've heard so many good things about this one. So, okie doke. The other books that I got for my 25th birthday, Does It Hurt and Birthday Girl. Obviously, I had to get Birthday Girl because, duh, I was getting these for my birthday. However, I know that Birthday Girl isn't all what it seems. The only thing that I know about this book is that the main female character, for revenge, gets with her ex-boyfriend's dad, and it's a huge age gap. So that's the only thing that I know about this book. This one, I don't really know too much about, other than there's a part in the book where the two characters are having fun time and it gets intense. That's the only PG way I know how to put it. So I wouldn't call these dark romance books, but these are, I'd say, quote unquote, intense romance books. And again, these are also at the top of my list to read starting next year. These are standalones, so these will be relative easy to read. And Birthday Girl is actually the second Penelope Douglas book that I have of hers. I have Credence on my shelf, and that is also a book that I've been wanting to read. So these books, I've heard good things about. I've heard people talk about them, rave about them on TikTok and Instagram. And obviously, I had to get it just because people rate these very highly. Now, moving away from dark romance and intense romance and cowboy romance and billionaire romance. Wow, I read a lot of romance books. We are moving on to fantasy romance. Yes! So you all know I've read From Blood and Ash. I have been going, or kind of sort of going through that series. I read the first 3 books. I am now starting A Shadow in the Ember, which is the prequel series, even though there is like a reading order. I'll make a whole separate video about From Blood and Ash and A Shadow in the Ember to explain. So I got these. These came out weeks apart. Which one? I believe this one came out October 30th, and this one came out in the beginning of October. So this is book 5 in the, I think it's book 5. Yes, this is book 5 in the From Blood and Ash series, A Soul of Ash and Blood. The cover is just so beautiful to me. The Barnes & Noble had the Barnes & Noble edition, and I didn't really like the Barnes & Noble cover for it because it didn't match with the rest of the series, so I got this off of Amazon. I actually pre-ordered it, and this cover is just so stunning. Do I know anything about it? No. Did I get it because I like the author's work and just her storytelling, world building, and character development? Oh, 100% absolutely. Have I read the 4th book? No. Is it gonna take me a while to get to this book? Yes, but I still got it anyway. Same thing with this one. A Fire in the Flesh. Do I know what it's about? No. Have I started this series? Yes. Did I get it because I like the author's world building, character development, and writing style? Yes, absolutely. Jennifer L. Armentrout has become one of my auto-buy authors because I just enjoy her writing and her storytelling and her world building. Like, I can dive into her work, get lost in her work, and feel like I'm not reading at all. Like, I feel like I'm alongside the characters, going with them on their journey. I feel like I'm getting to know them. I feel like I've become their friends, their best friends. Like, is that just me with her stuff? Am I the only one, or are there other people out there that feel that way about Jennifer L. Armentrout's writing? Like, her writing just engulfs you in. And so I had to get book 5 and book 3 of the 2 series that I'm reading. And last, but certainly not least, are these 2 books. So this first one right here, Starbringer, by Tracy Wolff and Nina Croft. Honestly, I don't know what this book is about. I saw it a couple times on book Instagram, and it looked interesting to me. The cover as well is absolutely stunning. You know what? Let me read the back. Or let me read a little bit. Ooh. This is my first time opening it up. Okay, this looks stunning. All right, enough of that. The sun is dying, and it's happening way too fast. With the clock ticking, the 9 planets' only hope of survival rests on a fantasy space station and the alien artifact it's carrying, which is why it really sucks when some jackass doesn't want the universe saved and blows that station up while you're still on it. So if your only choices are flaming death or stealing a flying hunk of space junk, you pick that busted ass spaceship, even if it leaves 7 strangers with deadly secrets trapped together. A princess, a prisoner, a con artist, a warrior, a priestess, a mercenary, and the asshole in charge of us all. Fantasy in space. 2 of my favorite worlds collide. Okay, so this, I hope there are more books. I hope she writes a series of this because this sounds incredible. I cannot wait to get into this one. And Iron Flame. First and foremost, can we just talk about this cover and how stunning it looks? Like, when the cover was revealed, I gasped out loud. My breath was taken. And when I pre-ordered this, and when it came in and I opened my box, I let out probably the most girliest squeal you guys could probably ever hear from me. I read Fourth Wing when it came out and became obsessed because it reminded me so much of How to Train Your Dragon and Divergent, but made for adults. When I got this book, I literally dropped everything and started reading it. I am currently on chapter 16. And once again, Rebecca Yarros has me hooked, has me obsessed. Granted, it's been out for a week and I haven't finished it like 95% of the internet has, but I do have a life. I do have a full-time job that I gotta worry about and other adult responsibilities that I gotta worry about. But when I do get the chance to read, I am hooked, I am in, and I can read this for hours. I can stay up and just read this book. Violet, still amazing. She's absolutely fantastic so far for the first 16 chapters that I read. Xaden is barely in it, which is frustrating and heartbreaking and sad, but I guess that's just what's making me want him even more in these pages. The dragons, still funny, still as sarcastic as ever. And the plot just thickens. There are 3 more books coming out in this series, and I don't know how Rebecca is going to do it, but this book series just has me on a chokehold. If this came out during the time of Hunger Games, Divergent, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and all those like YA books, this would be one of those books that I was obsessed with when I was like 15 or 16 years old. But I'm glad this is geared towards more people my age and younger, like 21 and over. This book series gives me the same feelings that I had when I was reading Divergent, when I was reading Hunger Games, when I was reading Legend. Like, I feel like a teenager all over again reading this series. And I don't know if those of you who are reading this series as well, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I do. I feel like a teenager all over again. I don't know if I mentioned it when I was talking about Fourth Wing, but there are 3 different areas that you can go to. You can be a scribe, you can be a writer, or you can be an infantry. And there's, I don't want to say like a sorting, but there's like different tests for each one that you can go through. You pick one, and that's how you go into whichever one. And so it has like those same YA elements that the YA books in the early 10s had, but for adults. And that's why it has me hooked so much. It's a book geared towards YA readers, but now that we're in our 20s. And that is it. That is all 25 books I got for my 25th birthday. Obviously, most of them are all romance books in different romance categories, but I also got sci-fi, fantasy, dystopian thrown in there. Just a wide variety of books that I am very excited to read, and when I do read them, very excited to talk about them with you all. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Please give it a like, leave me a comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye.